Hey there, fellow drivers. So I was on my way back from work, and as most of you know, the MR2 isn't getting a lot of action lately. And I was thinking about how you've seen the MR2, of course, and you've seen the Lexus even a little bit, but it occurred to me that you haven't seen the car that I actually spend the most of my time in, and that would be my daily, the Mazda 3. So I thought I'd introduce you to the Mazda 3 and do a little bit review and tell you my story on why I got it and its kind of pros and cons. Personally, I've been really happy with it. It's very practical, it gets good fuel economy, it has a fairly high-end interior for its price point, and overall it's just been a great car to own. So a few basic specs about it. It is a front-engine, front-wheel drive, four-door with a hatchback. It has a 2-liter engine with 155 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque. That's the Skyactiv engine, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but it gets really good fuel economy. It was rated at 28 in the city and 40 highway. This is a 2013 model, which is the last model year of this generation. So, what were the main reasons why I bought the Mazda 3? The big impetus for the Mazda 3 was this, actually, just kind of sitting here in slow traffic. So this is the big reason why I wanted a new car for my daily instead of the MR2, because I got a new job where I had a pretty long commute and a lot of stop and go traffic, and this car is very good at that. So, as far as performance, the Mazda 3 is not a super fast car, but that's not what it was made for, and that's not why I got it. That being said, it is decently quick, when we're not sitting still here in traffic anyway. It has more than enough power for daily driving circumstances. It pulls up hills just fine. I can pass if I need to. You know, I'm not going to be winning any races, but again, it's definitely adequate for the job. Another thing that I liked about it performance-wise was the handling. It actually has really good steering feel. That was one thing that was really important to me, and actually something that I didn't like so much about the Veloster was the steering feel. It just feels a lot sharper, and like I can feel more of what the wheels are actually communicating to me. Also, another thing worth noting, it does have a manual shift mode. You can shift it over into kind of a sport mode, which doesn't really change anything other than the fact that you can shift up and down, and notably, shifting up is pulling back, and shifting down is pushing forward, which I don't care what anybody says, that's the correct way to do it. So let's talk about ride quality and highway cruising. So overall, it's a pretty comfortable car. I'm going over some bumps and a lot of seams in the road right now because of the construction, and it handles them pretty well. I will say that on really poor road surfaces or kind of bad expansion joints on freeways, it can get a little choppy, but mostly I'd say it has a pretty compliant suspension that also feels somewhat sporty. As far as highway cruising goes, it handles that very well. If you're going at really high speeds, you know, like 80 miles an hour plus, or it's kind of windy out, you can get some wind noise around the cabin, but it's pretty mild. I just bring that up as maybe a slight downside, but really, overall, it's a great place to be and is comfortable for long trips. I actually took it on a road trip the first year I had it, all the way up to San Francisco from down here in the LA area, and it handled it just fine, and it was a pleasure to drive all the way. So before I get to my destination over here, and we jump out of the car and talk about some more things, I want to address fuel economy. And that was one of the big selling points for this car. It has a lot of great things about it, but fuel economy was definitely one of the things I was considering, since it was going to be my daily commute car. And as I said before, it's rated at 28 in the city and 40 on the highway. Average fuel economy, and this is over the lifetime of the car, I'm getting just under 33 miles per gallon. I will say, consistently on the highway for long drives, I can pretty easily get 45 miles to the gallon. All right, we're parked, so let's go ahead and hop out and take a look at the rest of the car. All right, so we'll just do a quick walk around so you can kind of see what it looks like. Unfortunately, poor thing is a little dirty. Although it's a nice day right now, we've had a lot of rain here in SoCal lately, and it's just gotten pretty dirty, and I haven't had a chance to wash it in a while. Honestly, this is probably the dirtiest it's been, I don't know, maybe ever. But yeah, I would say overall, it's a pretty good looking car. It's not like the most beautiful of cars, but I'm pretty happy with it. I actually really like this paint, and it's too bad that it is so dirty because it shines really well. It has like just a slight glitter to it in this black paint. Let's go ahead and get in the car and talk about the interior. So overall, I would say that the Mazda 3's interior is kind of a cut above what its price point or its competitors are. It just tends to be a little bit nicer. It has a lot of soft touch materials. It doesn't have like a lot of rattly plastic. Like this whole dash area is pretty solid. I feel like it has a really nice, and the gimbal just died. I have a real leather steering wheel, real leather shift knob. The center stack here has some nice tactile knobs on it and buttons. It has a very nice large gauge display, and I'll light that up for you. And you'll get a nice annoying beeping sound. But I really like these two large forward-facing gauges. And up here we have some additional displays that show things like miles per gallon, if the door is open, and then you have like your climate control and music and stuff that shows up there. Some other interior features and tech that's notable are things like all these steering wheel controls. We have cruise control, volume, voice activation with your phone. We have automatic dual climate control. And here is the leather shift knob that can be shifted into manual mode. Another cool thing about it is that it has push button start, which is pretty common nowadays, but maybe not as common as you would imagine. For instance, I just had the pleasure of driving the WRX, and it does not have push button start. So overall, it has a pretty high quality interior for its price point and is quite comfortable. Let's go ahead and hop in the back seat. And you can see that there's plenty of knee room over here. I'm not even close. And you could quite comfortably fit 2 adults back here with 2 adults sitting up front. Technically, you could even get a 5th person back here, but no one likes the middle seat. That being said, since it is a front-wheel drive car, you don't have very much of a hump in the middle here. So overall, the car is quite practical, it's pretty roomy, and has a lot of cargo space. Back here in the hatch, you can see it's quite large. For really large items, you can actually fold the seats down all the way flat and take off this little cover if you need some more room in height. I've had to use that a few times, but for the most part, for anything that you're going to be putting in here that isn't like furniture or something like that, or skis or whatever, this hatch is more than big enough to fit anything. Quick note on reliability. I'm currently at 47,000 miles-ish, and I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. I've just done the regular oil changes, rotated the tires, and that's it. There haven't been any reported issues that I really know of that are known. The only thing is, a couple months ago, I did get a notice from the manufacturer saying that these needed to be replaced, and they were doing a recall, but I haven't gotten any further information on that, and I personally haven't had any issue with them whatsoever. I'll give you a quick look under the hood at the Skyactiv engine, which is just Mazda's branding basically for a high compression engine, and that's how it's able to get such good fuel economy without being a hybrid. Alright, so I've been praising the car a lot because honestly it is a very good car, but let's talk about maybe some gripes that I have with it. Now, these are getting really nitpicky, but if I had to say, one of them would be the seat belt, and you'll see it has kind of this guard on it, I would assume to sort of prevent rubbing or wear, but you can see a slight bit of fraying here where the seat belt will actually rub on it. And if they just extended this a little bit further, I don't think that would be an issue. Again, a really small thing. I'm kind of nitpicking. The other thing, I actually snapped the little clip here. I need to buy a new piece to replace this because it doesn't hold it in there snug now. But quite frankly, I can't blame the car for that. I probably just was careless. The other really small thing that is relevant for those of you who like to do your own maintenance is that the oil filter is kind of annoying because the way it's positioned, it's kind of impossible to change the oil filter without getting oil pouring all over your hand and down your arm. But again, a small issue. A lot of cars have that same problem. So to sum things up here about the Mazda 3, I have to say that I would really recommend this car. I've really enjoyed it. Overall, it's comfortable, it's practical, it gets good gas mileage. So far, it's been very reliable. And I would recommend it for those of you who are looking for a daily that has some good utility to it.